All right, hello, hello. We're back. House and Fata Morgana tonight. It feels like it's been ages, and it might actually have been ages. It's been so long. You may remember that I did say that we would be finishing the 100-line defense demo, and I had every intention of doing so, except for the fact that the actual game is out. It just came out on Thursday, so please do feel free to support the actual purchase. And if you are interested in us playing it on stream, let me know. Otherwise, I think we're going to let that demo go for now. But yeah, let me know. Trying to think if there's anything else to talk about before we get into it. Just as a little bit of a heads up, this might be a slightly shorter stream. You may remember a couple of streams ago on one of the the Somnium Files one, I went like supersonic with my voice and have injured my throat a little bit. So I think I should be okay, but we'll see how long. The voices are not going to happen tonight. We'll see how far I can go. But yeah, welcome, welcome. I'm Kels. As a reminder, you'll be hearing me talk a lot. So let's just do our recap and then get into it. So, Pauline's story of meeting Yukimasa began with her freaking out over having to speak French in a bar. Yukimasa was surprisingly smooth with her and they sat together to talk in English while Maria was away. He's a system engineer who works out and offered his help for manual labor when she moves. He's seen her a month ago when she first arrived, and he wants to know more since he feels the past life, and they quickly got into a relationship that Maria has a bad vibe from. They started noticing the soulmate past life bond, which Yukimasa is not too excited about since he's got baggage. She made Japanese dinner at his house with Western ingredients and asked to stay the night, but he has other business like he does every time she tries this. She flashed back to Maria warning her about trust from a past life and Michael's voice. Yukimasa's bloodlust was awakened in childhood when he saw murder on the news, but he's good at keeping it to himself. When Yukimasa finally decided to kill, he heard his own voice stop him. The closer Pauline gets, the more she stars in his snuff fantasies, so he keeps her at bay. He roams the street at night, playing Batman and beating up ruffians, but refusing to cross the line of homicide. Pauline snooped around his apartment while he was gone and then tried to sneak into his bed with him while he dreamed of the second door. To be fair, she did end up sneaking into bed with him. It was very wild. Like, I get that he about killed her, but also, girl, don't just get into bed with someone. Pauline, I swear to God. He ended up choking her in his sleep, but then he remembered his vow with Michael and stopped. He tried to resuscitate her and then confessed the whole truth about himself when she asked, and she refused to turn him in because she can tell she's special to him even if he can't return her love. She's willing to be the tether that keeps him calm and the only person he kills if he ever succumbs to his murder boner. Yeah. So that relationship still is real fucked up, but you know what? I don't think it can get better than that. So let's see where Jacopo's going, because if I remember correctly, that is where we're at now. All right. That's Requiem for Innocence. Okay. Reincarnation, the River of Oblivion. Late April. I don't remember when any of the rest of this was taking place, so I'm sure that would mean something to me if I remembered anything else. Oh, look at him. That expression is just so Jacopo. I don't know how to explain that, but if you'd asked me what he was going to look like in an anime form, like that would have been the exact expression. He does look very good. Also, it looks fucking rich based on the fact that it looks like he's got a bespoke tailored suit. So, oh, for the love of God, don't just start pouring like that, damn it. It's been one thing after another since I got here. I just got this suit back from the tailor, too. God damn it all. As I recall, if I cut through this park, I'll come out at the bus stop. Oh, the mere thought of taking the bus in the rain makes me want to gag, though. God damn it, I should have just called a cab. I'd had a string of bad luck that day. I'd had to stay later than usual to clean up a mess caused by a subordinate, and as soon as I'd managed to get out, it decided to start pouring on me. Lunch had been dreadful, and I'd missed dinner entirely. As the annoyances continued to pile up, even small things that wouldn't usually bother me started adding to the agitation. And it had reached the point where I wouldn't have minded if a meteor struck and eradicated humanity. Exactly. Ew, taking the bus with the poor people. So, when I came across her, I just considered it yet another annoyance to add to the day's stack. Okay, is this going to be Maria or Morgana? As I was crossing through the park, I caught sight of a shadow in the corner of my eye. In that moment, the rain seemed to slow to a crawl, and I felt strangely detached from my surroundings. I stopped dead in my tracks, though I couldn't conjure up a reason as to why. Normally, I wouldn't have spared the girl even a glance. There was no bigger waste of time than sticking your nose in someone else's business. But something was off about me today. Any reasonable man would have called a cab from the office instead of running through the rain in his brand new suit. I was hardly wanting for money after all. Yet for some reason, I decided to make a mad dash through a nearby park, knowing full well I was going to get drenched in the process. And now there I was, standing in the rain, enraptured by this girl. Oh, there she is! Yay! Oops. Playing my Switch too much, hit in the wrong button. She sat on a bench, no umbrella to shield her from the rain. Water streamed down her face, but still she sat unfazed, not even bothering to wipe it away. Her back was straight and her knees held together, very prim and proper, as though there were nothing out of the ordinary about it. And for a split second, the sight of her nearly convinced me of the same. A moment's rational thought was all it took to break the illusion, but I'd come this close to falling for it. It was like looking at a single frame of a movie, a completed work of art, with no room for outside influence. She really does look amazing. Like, I'm so happy for her. What on earth was going through my head? It was just a damn girl sitting in the rain, and probably a runaway at that. Why else would someone her age be sitting out in the rain all by herself? Whatever her story, sticking my nose into it was certain to end poorly. I had an early morning tomorrow, too. The last thing I had time to do was play busybody. Hey, kid. Hey, I'm talking to you. And you finally have both arms again. That she does. And her face is cleared up. Like, finally, she gets to maybe, have her happy moment. Although what she's doing sitting in the rain, probably not great. Especially if I remember correctly, like, Michael had a dream that she was in trouble. So that's also probably not good. Yet, for some godforsaken reason, I was trying to get her attention. Are you talking to me? Her eyes were light, and almost translucent gold under the pale yellow streetlight, and looked like they could pierce right through me. And her voice was a curious thing. I didn't have the words to adequately describe it, but it sounded like it was resonating directly in my mind. The sound of it was undeniably beautiful, but there was something more there. Like each and every syllable coiled itself around my heart and tried to crush it. Have we met before? What the hell? That wasn't what I had planned to say at all. The words just fell out of my mouth. Who are you? Do I need to call the police? Yeah, to be fair, saying that as your opening line to a teenage girl probably not going to be seen very good. Look at that. She was already getting wary. What the hell had gotten into me? I'd been acting inexplicably peculiar. Just last month, I'd run into a tall woman who seemed strangely familiar, and for whatever reason, asked her if we had any shared acquaintances. An absurd thing to inquire of a stranger. I was clearly losing my mind. Even I wouldn't want to associate with me. No, that won't be necessary. Please just ignore that if you would. What I actually want to know is, well, hmm, is what a young girl is doing at this time of the night all by herself. Foot traffic has almost entirely died down. It's not safe to be here alone. Hurry up and go home. And who exactly do you think you are? What I do and where I do it, it's my own business. I hate to break it to you, little girl, but it's every adult's public duty to keep children out of danger. And you are definitely not 18 yet, which means, Jacopo, you had better not be falling in love with her on this timeline because that's going to be like extra creepy. I'll have you know I'm in my 20s, thank you. Never mind. She just looks very young. Well, you certainly don't look it. And even setting aside the question of your age for a moment, you're going to get yourself sick sitting out in the rain like that. I don't care if you got into a fight with your parents and it's awkward being at home. You need to stop being so stubborn and go back. You're a public nuisance. Is that so? Well, I'm not a nuisance to myself, so if you're so bothered, maybe you should go home. Have a nice day. I love her backbone here. Like, we've not really seen Morgana with a lot of backbone, and I love that. No, we are not sure she's telling the truth about her age. I'm just hoping so. Jacopo clearly doesn't think she is, considering the fact he thinks that a 20-year-old is in a fight with her parents. Hey now, watch your tone, girl. This is for your own good. For my own good, huh? So your definition of being a concerned citizen involves butting into a stranger's business, reprimanding them unprovoked, and then finally calling them a nuisance. You're such a thoughtful, caring gentleman. Thank you oh so much for your gracious consideration. Happy? You do not know when to shut up, do you, child? Jacopo, what the fuck, man? Like, don't be an ass. All I'm saying is that it's not a good idea for a girl your age to be out here. Well, your concern is a nuisance to me. Leave me alone. Fine, you win. What the hell ever. I'm stupid to pretend I cared. Don't come whining to me if it turns out I was right. How would she come whining to you? She doesn't know you. Kids these days, I swear to God, they don't know how to respect their damn elders. Yeah, Jacopo does seem like the type of person that the second he turned 18 started bitching about the kids on his lawn. So this checks out. Christ, I never should have even bothered with her. Complete and utter waste of time. And now I'm probably going to miss the bus, too. Hmm, that kiosk is still open. Maybe it sells umbrellas. Don't come whining to me through our soulmate bond I don't know we have. Damn it, don't just stand there like an idiot, Jacopo. Forget about this stupid girl. I've got an early morning. I have to get going. Oh, for Christ's sake, what the hell has gotten into me? You again? I thought you went home. Did you get bored and decide to come parent me again? Are you only capable of speaking and biting remarks, girl? Of course I didn't get bored. I missed the goddamn bus because of you. That doesn't explain why you came back. Are you going to demand I pay your bus fare? I beg your pardon. Do I look so miserly that I would make a child hand over pocket change? You certainly do. I swear to God, I'm going to be here all night if I entertain every snide remark of yours. I'm done. Take this. Huh? An umbrella? What for? Because leaving you here to soak all night would leave a bad taste in my mouth. Why should whatever happens to me have any effect on you? And before you ask, no, I don't have the money to pay for that. I'm not, and I never intended to ask you to pay me for it. It's just a cheap plastic umbrella, for God's sake. And you only bought one? You didn't get one for yourself as well? Don't worry about me. I live in the neighborhood. But quit your griping and take the damn umbrella. Uh, hey, don't shove it into my face. There, it's yours now. Now get yourself home and quickly, you hear me? What on earth is that man's problem? The next morning, it was still raining, the sky covered in a thick layer of dark clouds. It wasn't even rainy season. Why couldn't the sky just dump everything in one big downpour and let us be done with it? It continued through the day, showing no signs of letting up even as the sun went down. The slow, constant drizzle was like my mood made manifest. In the 3 years since my work had brought me here, I'd only gotten busier and busier. I hadn't even had time to properly accustom myself to life in France, and the slew of crap being hurled at me wasn't helping. I'd managed I'd managed to learn the language, but the cultural barrier still stood tall between me and the locals. At which point you might say, then just go home already, but I was too stubborn to go crawling back with nothing to show for my time here. At the very least, I wanted to get my company off the ground and mostly sustainable first, otherwise the whole endeavor would be a failure. Which was why I was staying at the office day in and day out, but the harder I worked myself, the lazier and more incompetent everyone else seemed, and the more irritated I grew with them. Drinking and smoking were essentially the only outlets I had for my constantly mounting stress. Oh, good, we're healthy. I see. It certainly is crowded today. Oh, right, it's the weekend. God, I can't even remember what day of the week it is anymore. There's no way I'll be able to relax with this many people here. I guess I'll just grab one drink and go. Hmm? Oh, look at them! They're here. Oh, huh. So you haven't been in France very long then? Amusingly enough, I was only transferred here a month ago myself. Oh, neat. Speaking of, a month ago is when Maria and I came to Paris on vacation, which is when I started thinking about moving here. Hmm? So wait, you decided on everything and moved to a foreign country within the span of a month? Yeah, she's rich. It's fine. Yep. I mean, yes. My mom was not terribly pleased with me either. But once I set my mind on something, I usually make a beeline for it. No need to be so tense. Please make yourself comfortable. Uh, if you say so, sure, I'll try. When you first bumped into me, I was kind of scared. But it turns out you're not scary at all. You actually seem really sweet and respectable. Sweet and respectable, you say? I'm flattered. I don't see myself as either. What the hell do those two Asians think they're doing there? The far end of the counter is my seat, damn it. Not that I reserved it, but I know this place is quite accommodating to foreigners, but I can't stand all the obnoxious tourists it attracts on top of that. Yeah, they both live here, man. How do you be an asshole and racist? Like, pick a struggle. That said, I feel I've seen the man somewhere before. Maybe from a company we contracted out to? Nah, I'd remember him more clearly if that were the case. Says the obnoxious tourist. Exactly! No idea. But it's not important anyway. Where's an open seat at the counter? There we go. Hey, barkeep! One of the usual on the rocks. Excuse me? My bottle's already empty? Then get me a new one, please. I don't remember drinking that much, good lord. You sure you didn't leave the bottle open and it all evaporated? Yeah, I'm joking. I would be able to tell from the taste if you mishandled it that badly. Hmm. The color's just right, the glass beautiful, and the ice perfectly cut. Now, if only it weren't so loud here, it would be perfect. Yeah, racist and asshole do tend to go hand in hand, but honestly, you know, pick a struggle, man. The world would be so much better if people just picked one. And now, a drink to wind down from work. Ah, uh-huh. That hits the spot. Nothing in this world beats an ice cold beer. You there. I'm trying to enjoy my drink in peace, damn it. Keep it down and maybe try acting a little more ladylike, would you? Oh, she is gonna roast you, man. Gonna say a prayer really quick for Jacopo, because he's gonna have to pick out gravestones after this conversation. I can see it already. Excuse me? The hell's your problem? This is a bar. I can drink as loud as I damn well please. And miss me with that last century chauvinism while you're at it. Sit somewhere else if you're gonna be a little bitch about it. I only sat next to you because it was the only seat open. I didn't choose this arrangement any more than you did. There are plenty of other bars in town. And this is the bar with my bottle keep. God, you're such a baby. Maybe you need to learn how to act like the proper gentleman. When you see a woman alone at the counter, repeat after me. Good day to you, my lady. Are you alone? Then please allow me to buy you a drink. No more beer for you. A glass of the most expensive whiskey they have. Give it a try. I'm still a beer girl myself, though. I'd sooner choke on my own tongue. If you want someone to offer you a drink, act like an actual damn lady. Do you ever stop whining, dude? Holy crap. Hmm? Wait, I feel like we've met somewhere before. You trying to hit on me now? Sorry, but I have no interest in foul-mouthed, short-haired girls with attitudes. Try somewhere else. Choke on a dick. Who the hell tried to hit on an asshole like you? No, I just feel like I remember being pissed off at you. Now I remember! You're the dick who bumped into me! I can't say I remember every single person I brushed shoulders with. Well, you were a huge ass to me and my friend. Apologize right now. Pardon? The fact that I don't remember clearly means that it wasn't that big a deal, so I see no reason I should be forced to apologize. We can see the beginnings of their friendship in this time period. I can already tell the hate fuck will be legendary. Yeah. Um, there, yeah. There's a lot of tension to work off, we'll just put it that way. It may not have been a big deal to you, but it sure was one to me. You put me in a bad mood for the rest of the day, which went and ruined a perfectly good vacation. And the crap just kept piling on after I got back. I ended up clocking my boss, getting fired, and being blacklisted from the fashion industry. So I decided, hey, I'll start over in a new place, and the one place I was finally able to get work at is about to shut down. Most of that doesn't even sound remotely like my fault. Screw you, everything's your fault. I dropped all my luck when you slammed into me that day. Barkeep, fill me up again. Good lord. Cancel that and pour her a glass from my bottle, would you? Huh? After all that smack you talked, you're actually buying me a drink? I'm not normally a man to offer drinks to any random woman I sit next to, but they don't tend to wail endlessly on me like a miserable banshee either. So you get a pity glass. Did you just call me a miserable banshee? You sure know how to piss a girl off. Well, that's fun. I don't know why it suddenly went into rest mode. Hello? Wake up? Thanks, console. I don't know what happened. Uh. All right. Well, glad we can just pick back up. I don't know what happened. We're not gonna ask. You also need a lesson on how to properly enjoy good whiskey. You don't just down it all like a beer, you hear me? You have to savor it. Take a sip, roll it around the top of your tongue, let the aroma soak in, and then swallow. Give it a try. Seriously? Now you're lecturing me on how to drink? Just let me enjoy it how I want to, yeesh. Quit griping and do it how I told you, damn it. Aye, aye, Captain. Ugh. Holy shit! This whiskey's the fucking bomb! I don't usually drink it because it tastes like sweaty asshole, but this stuff ain't half bad. I told you. So, hey, is there only one glass worth of pity in ya? You are one ravenous woman. Whatever, have as much as you want. It really is. Jacopo's MO is to flaunt his wealth and show off to people that annoy him. Like, he fucking loves that shit. And I love that his stress relief has turned into arguing with Maria. Drinking, smoking, arguing with a hot woman. Oh, yeah. You make me want to chew on glass, but you're not a terrible dude. I've changed my mind. I don't want to share another drop with you. I'm just kidding. Learn to take a joke, man. How is it already this late? Late? The night's still young, dude. You got a wife and kids to get back to or something? Hate to disappoint you, but I'm single. I have to be up early for work tomorrow. Damn, you work on the weekends? Well, someone's a busy boy, huh? You don't look like the food service type either. You'd be right about that. I work at a real estate agency that primarily targets wealthy expatriates, but everyone there is utterly useless, so I'm essentially managing the entire branch myself. Oh, I smell a lot of money in that. You're the kind of guy who lounges around counting big stacks of bills, aren't you? Riches before bitches, yeah? Because most guys, when you buy a girl a drink, the idea is to get them drunk enough to come home with you. As said, I have zero interest in a woman as crass as you. Or are you insinuating you want to come to my place? Oh, hell no. I'd jump off a bridge before going home with you. I did have a pretty decent time drinking with you, though. It feels like we've known each other for years. Maybe because we're both Italian? I mean, that's probably not it, but I don't know what else it could be. It's weird, because when you first sat down, I wanted to break your jaw. I was thinking almost the same about you. You don't feel much like a woman, which makes it easier to talk to you. Jacopo, do you have a not sexist setting? Like, a, they're really not helping me with him. I get that we even got another game to show like how tortured and complicated he was, and I don't really think it helped. There we go. I'm getting you drunk enough that you won't be sober enough to follow me home. Um, Damn, you're a huge dick. I'm pretty smoking hot if I do say so myself. Whatever. Makes my life a whole lot easier if I don't have to worry about you trying to feel me up every 10 seconds. We should get drinks again sometime. Something tells me this ain't the last we'll be seeing of each other. I would certainly hope it is. If our paths cross a third time, I can only assume malicious forces are at work. Yeah, you do your little snarky act. Get it out of your system. I'm pretty sure there will be a third time for us. Oh, one other thing. The name's Maria. Now you don't have any excuse to call me a miserable banshee next time. So what's yours? Jacopo. Yeah, I definitely know that name from somewhere. Catch you later, Jacopo. Buonanotte. Well, I was in there longer than planned, and the rain still hasn't let up either. I guess I'll take the same shortcut through the park. Hmm? Is that? No. I couldn't believe my eyes. A young girl sitting alone on a bench in the rain, exactly as I had seen her yesterday. For a second, I wondered if I had gone back in time, but I knew that that wasn't possible, which meant that she had been there since yesterday. Or she left yesterday, went home, and came back. Like, Jacopo, the logic there doesn't quite check out, but hey, kid, you're still here? You again. And you reek of alcohol. Are you drunk? I'm not drunk. I merely enjoyed a nice glass to wind down. But what I've been doing doesn't matter. The question is, what are you doing out here in the rain yet again? And what happened to the umbrella I gave you? It was stolen while I was briefly away. It what? Wait, no, the umbrella isn't important either. Don't tell me you've actually been here since yesterday. Is there some reason you can't go home? Then ask a friend if you can stay at their place. At least find somewhere you can have a roof over your head. Or are you planning on being homeless permanently? You could try saying something, maybe. My life is none of your business. And as I said last time, that's not reason enough for me to just ignore you. Last night, I assumed it was a straightforward runaway case, but if there's more to it, then that's all the more reason for someone else to get involved. And as I keep saying, leave me alone. It's none of your concern what happens to me. Fine. I'll let the police deal with you. Excuse me? Why should the police have to be involved? Have I broken any laws? I can't abide by an unattended runaway, but you want me to leave you alone, which leaves me with only one choice. Let the authorities take you in. Dealing with lawbreakers isn't the only duty of the police. Jacopo, snitches get stitches. Like, I don't know how else to say this. Like, don't be a dick. Then I'll find a different park where you won't see me. Why are you so determined to stay in the damn park? Anyway, the point is you can't be here. And going to another park doesn't change that. For the love of God, just go home, child. It's not safe for a girl to be sleeping out here all alone. How can you not realize that? I'm obviously aware of the dangers. Then why? Heavens, you are insufferable. Oh, look at her! Oh, she's so cute! I love her. Oh, are you finally going home?
Absolutely not. I'm simply relocating somewhere without as many obnoxious drunkards around to pester me. Have a nice life. I will apologize for the umbrella, though.
The girl gave me a vicious scowl, then turned and began walking away. I'd given her plenty of warnings, plenty of advice. I'd done my due diligence, and pushing it any harder was a waste of both of our time. She does. Yeah, I can see the redhead Tokufukawa. I can see it. I think it's the twin braids. See, we thought that Yukimasa was the only one with the killing streak, but maybe that's why Morgana can't go home. She could deal with the consequences of her own decisions, whatever they ended up being. It wasn't my business. She was an ungrateful, petulant little brat. I had nothing but a migraine to gain by offering her any consideration. So I just wouldn't. That was best for my sanity. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. It became a mantra in my head. But my hand appeared to have missed the memo because when I looked up next, it was clasped around her upper arm. She's going to scream and accuse us of assault very soon. What? What are you? She turned her head back towards me, frowning and clearly bewildered. And I was probably about equally as confused. I could practically hear her chewing me out in her mind about the mixed messages I was sending. If you don't have anywhere else to go. I figured she would have already smacked my hand away and threatened to call the police by now. But what I saw instead was a girl who looked cornered and out of options. My grip around her arm tightened. How was I going to finish that statement? None of the follow ups I could think of seemed wise, or sane at that. But the other option, letting her go and doing nothing, was entirely out of the question. You can stay at my place.
What? Stay at your place? You're joking, right?
Much to my own dismay, I'm evidently dead serious. I have food, a bed, and anything else you may need. It's better than sleeping outside in a park, at least. The choice is obviously yours. However, know that if you choose to stay somewhere without a roof over your head, I will call the police and report you as a runaway.
That sounds an awful lot like a threat.
I'd like to think I'm simply ensuring you get what's best for you.
Alternatively, I could start screaming. And then when I've drawn enough attention to you, I can slip away and head to a different jurisdiction where the police can't do anything.
By all means, I won't stop you.
Well, we've reached an understanding then.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'll go to your place. In the end, it doesn't matter where I go after all. What? You look confused.
No, I'm just surprised you actually took me up on the offer.
Why should you be surprised when you're the one who proposed it? Now let go of my arm, and then show me the way.
Right, fine. Morgana, honey, please don't go home with a random man. Like, please, I'm begging you. We know he's okay, we think, because it's Jacopo and the whole, like, past thing, but don't go home with a random man. The words came out sounding even limper than I had intended. I was quite relieved, though, despite how displeased she looked. The reasonable thing to do in this situation was obviously to not engage with her at all, just to silently report her to the authorities. But I'd gone for perhaps the most unreasonable solution imaginable. I couldn't tell at a glance how old she was, but she certainly wasn't in her 20s like she claimed. Oh, my suggestion was not to just go home for this Morgana either, but going with a random man, if we didn't have this whole like framing, is also not an acceptable solution here. If he'd been thinking at all, he should have brought her back to Maria, maybe. Maybe the two of them could have thought of a solution that wasn't just her going back to this random man's place without any like safeguards in place. So I was an adult man inviting a minor to stay at my place. If anyone in this scenario was going to be spending quality time with the police, it was me. I'd clearly lost my goddamn mind, though, because even in the face of that, I had no intention of rescinding my offer. If you'd told me I would end up picking a woman, hell, not even a woman, but a girl, at the park tonight as opposed to the bar I just left, I would have laughed in your face. In my apartment, the girl stood perfectly still, her gaze slowly crawling over the lay of my living room. Was she not used to seeing other people's homes? Is there a reason, Jacopo, why you couldn't just rent her in a hotel room? Like, I get that this is less money, but you have been throwing around money like it doesn't matter. Like, maybe a hotel room might have been less weird. Ooh, a TV. Uh, or was it just that it was a man's abode? Try not to stare too much, would you? I rarely have guests, so it's a bit of a mess.
It looks quite clean to me.
Huh. Now that's the last thing I expected to hear from you. But if a teenage girl says so, then it must be true.
It's been bothering me for a while, but could you please stop acting like I'm a child?
Oh, right, you're in your 20s, I forgot. Then I'd better give you the adult treatment instead. Jacopo, please don't say that.
When you gave me the umbrella yesterday, you said you lived nearby.
Huh? What about it? It is close. Not even a 30-minute drive.
Are all grown men compelled to downplay their struggles, or is it just you? I took that to mean you lived maybe a few minutes away. This is hardly what I would call in the neighborhood. Partway through the cab ride, I began to suspect you were actually kidnapping me.
I I would do no such thing. As I've told you on multiple occasions, I am not a creep. I'll show you my ID if that will make you feel any better. I've got my driver's license, my passport, and I'll even dig out my birth certificate if you want to see that. I have nothing to hide. Dude, you have already gotten her into a enclosed space. That stuff might have been good like before she was in it, not after, but whatever. For the last time, I'm only providing you shelter until whatever's going on blows over and you can go home. Until then, you're free to make yourself at home here. I want to see his birth certificate. I mean, it'll be in Italian, so, you know.
You're inscrutable.
Excuse me? Who are you calling inscrutable? I'm just offering you some hospitality. The silent treatment. Well, whatever, you must be hungry. It won't be anything fancy, but I'll throw dinner together. Oh, but you're gonna want to get changed first, huh? You'll get sick if you stay in that wet dress. Give me a minute, I'll go find something.
No, you needn't bother.
I needn't bother? What's with the sudden stuffy act? I thought you had a sassy retort for everything. Anyway, I'll go grab a towel and some clothes. You sit down until I get... Hold on. Hmm? You kind of
What? Get away from me!
really smell. How long has it been since you last bathed? I thought the apartment smelled kind of weird when we got in, but no, it was just you, I guess.
Smell? As in, I stink?
Correct, you smell like a wet dog. It is impressively foul. The shower's right there. Go clean all that nasty junk off you. And you can toss your clothes in the washer while you're at it. She is Toko. Never in my life have I met a woman in her 20s who let herself go around smelling like a damn animal.
But, eh, eh.
Pardon?
Burn in hell, you fiend!
That seems a bit excessive, I think. A few minutes later, I heard the sound of running water coming from the bathroom. As off as the girl was, it seemed she at least knew how to use a shower. She is blushing, it's very cute. So she hadn't been raised by wolves in the forest. That was a relief. After checking to make sure the door to the shower area was properly closed, I went into the bathroom and put a freshly washed shirt and a pair of pants in a basket by the sink. They probably wouldn't fit her, but I didn't keep any smaller clothes on hand, so she would just have to make do. It was honestly rather strange hearing sounds that weren't mine at home. While I'd told the girl I rarely had guests, the truth was I never did. I was somewhat more social back before I moved to France, but I hadn't made any friends here close enough to invite over. An image of the woman I'd met at the bar today, Maria, flashed into my mind. Supposedly, it wasn't actually our first encounter, but I sincerely couldn't remember bumping into her before. At first, I had thought her merely loud and overbearing, but by the time we parted ways, I had grown quite comfortable with her. Once someone had left a bad impression on me, it was rare for it to ever improve, and certainly never that quickly. Perhaps I could invite her over sometime and we could chat over drinks again. That might be fun. We hadn't given each other our numbers, though, and I doubted we'd accidentally run into each other for a third time, so maybe not. But for now, I needed to focus my attention on the girl. How long did girls her age usually spend in the shower? Unfortunately, I didn't have any sisters or younger cousins as I was growing up, so I had no idea what to expect. I just knew it felt like she was taking forever in there. Dude, she hasn't bathed in possible days to weeks. Like, girl is going to take an hour and a half in there just like scrubbing all that shit off. I can tell you this as a woman. So I figured I should go ahead and make dinner in the meantime to take my mind off the waiting. Shit, man, he's got a better spice thing than I do. I guess that'll do. It'd be better if I hadn't added the sauce before making sure I had enough tomatoes. It tastes fine, though. Now to wait for the water to boil. Girl, please put some pants on. Christ, I didn't see you there. You could have said something, goddammit. Hold on. I don't need this. Please, no. Oh, God. We've gone straight back to creepy. Whoa, put on some clothes for God's sake. This is not how you conduct yourself in a stranger's house. You did see that I set the pants out for you too, right?
You could fit 2 of me in those pants, and the legs were so long I'd almost certainly trip on them. So I decided it was more comfortable to not wear them.
But that doesn't mean you can just go around wearing only...
And why is that? The shirt is long enough on me to be a dress, so I don't see the problem.
Everything about it is a problem. You're a young girl carelessly exposing your legs to an older man.
So you're insinuating my attire has caused you to have untoward thoughts about me. You are a degenerate and a repulsive human being.
No, that's just a weird thing to wear in a stranger's house. I am not having untoward thoughts about you. I just mean you won't have anyone to blame but yourself for dressing like that if something happens to you. No, Jacopo! This entire situation is just awful. I'm so stressed out. Like, Morgana, get out of this.
Yes, that's what all sex offenders say. You blame your victims for wearing revealing clothing and claim no responsibility for your own actions. A man is allowed to dress like a slob whenever he pleases, but a woman must be prim and proper at all times. Is that what you're saying?
Christ, she's relentless. Yeah, just like it was centuries ago, the universe conspires to make Jacopo a harem rom-com protagonist, and he is having none of it. Damn it, Jacopo, calm yourself down. She's a goddamn child. I bet a leg isn't going to do anything for you. Deep breaths, calm ocean waves. You make a fair point. And it's not as though you're in any way physically attractive to me. I take back what I said. Dress as slovenly as your heart desires. You can roam about in nothing but your underwear, and it won't faze me.
Then perhaps I shall.
Don't even think about it!
I'm kidding. I would like to maintain at least a degree of modesty.
Wearing nothing but a shirt counts as modesty to you?
So, what is it you're making?
Oh, it's spaghetti and meat sauce. Nothing exciting, just throwing together a quick store-bought dinner.
I never realized a quick store-bought meal involved cutting fresh onions, cooking fresh ground beef, and crushing fresh tomatoes. This is most educational.
Does every word that comes out of your mouth have to be dripping with sarcasm? This isn't even close to a proper homemade sauce. But yes, that is a bit big on you. You should change back into your clothes when the laundry's done. And don't you dare suggest that there's some deeper, sinister meaning there. I just can't imagine something that loose could be comfortable.
Yes, whatever you say.
Do you have any women's clothing I can use then? What do you expect?
You're Italian, are you not? So I assumed you would have a few spare outfits lying around for one-night stands.
Okay. I am so stressed out. I hate this conversation. Can we get off of this one? Hey, watch it. Just because I'm Italian doesn't automatically mean I'm promiscuous.
You're not popular with women then.
Why does it have to be one or the other? How did you know I was Italian anyway? We were both speaking French, and I hadn't used any other language in many months. The majority of people in these parts were some form of Latin European. It wouldn't be easy to pinpoint someone's nationality by their appearance. No, but their accent is actually pretty easy, as, someone who grew up in Latin Europe, if that's what you want to call it. Did I have an accent then? I felt like my pronunciation was fairly standard, but maybe I wasn't the best judge of that. You moved here like 2 years ago, man. 4 years? 3 years? Like, yeah, you still have an accent. She cocked her head to the side, seemingly unsure how to answer, which likely meant it wasn't something as obvious as an accent.
Now that you mention it, I'm not sure. I just thought you were from I just thought you were from the moment I saw you and never considered otherwise. How strange.
Hmm. Curious, but not unbelievable, I suppose. And in any case, yes, I am from Italy. Are you familiar with Sicily?
She nodded.
I was born in Sicily, but I only lived there for a few years. As a kid, I was constantly moving all over Italy, and now I'm here for work.
Do you ever feel like going back?
To Sicily? Nah, never. There's nothing there. Not even fond childhood memories. And I hate family gatherings. There we go.
Obviously, you must have lots and lots of sex. It has to be your Italian heritage. I definitely didn't assume you get laid a lot because I find you attractive or anything.
Ah. She fell silent for a minute, muttered, I see, under her breath, and then didn't pursue it any further. Which honestly I was grateful for. I didn't particularly enjoy talking about my family. Evidently, some generations back, our ancestors had ties to the mafia, and that reputation still came with the name today. As a child, the other kids tended to keep their distance, hence no fond memories of that period. We lived in mostly rural areas, so rumors spread quickly and mercilessly. This in turn led to difficulty at school, trouble graduating, and it even became an obstacle finding work. It was like every little thing I did was being monitored everywhere I went. I could feel their stares, see them waiting to pounce at any slip up. It was suffocating. And when I did screw something up, it was all living up to your family's name, I see, from every direction. I had no prospects in that country. They would make damn sure of that. That is fascinating. Reminds me of my college friend who found out her grandpa was in the mafia when they showed up to pay respects at his funeral. Look, I would suddenly want to know a lot more about grandpa. I think that that would be some fun family history to kind of pry into. So I left as quickly as I could manage. I'd expected the girl to say something snippy in response, but she stayed uncharacteristically quiet. It felt wrong not hearing anything sarcastic coming from her. But that's not really a story for now. Dinner will be ready soon, so take a seat elsewhere and wait. There's a TV in the living room. You can watch whatever you want. She gave a curt nod, then trotted out into the living room. That is a fascinating friend if this is the same one who has documentation proving she descends from Marie Antoinette. Like, girl is possibly the most well um, connected in Europe. Western Europe, at least. Latin Europe, I guess we're calling here. Man, it really throws me off balance when she's not fighting me at every junction. Hey, food's ready. The hell are you doing? When I stepped out into the living room with 2 plates of fresh spaghetti, I was greeted with the girl staring at the remote, still as a statue. After frowning at it for a while, she turned her head up to face me.
You told me to watch TV, but I can't figure out how to use the remote. I push the button, but it won't come on.
What on earth was she talking about? She didn't know how to use the remote? She couldn't be serious. Uh, oh, do you not have a TV at home? I guess you can do everything on a computer and phone these days, so you wouldn't necessarily need one. There we go.
I want to watch Caterwallop. I don't have a computer or a phone either.
What kind of life have you had, girl? Christ, it's the 21st century, for God's sake. Are you secretly an old woman? Or Amish, maybe? How do you keep track of your schedule, buy plane tickets, or reserve your seat at the movie theater without a smartphone?
How rude. You can use an agenda to track your schedule, buy plane tickets at the airport, and buy movie tickets at the
Theater counter. Okay, one of those is significantly harder than the other two. Like, I cannot imagine buying plane tickets at the airport anymore.
It sounds like you're too reliant on your phone.
Ugh. Fine, I'll reluctantly give you that you can live without one, but it deprives you of a great many conveniences and luxuries. Modern civilization is built under the assumption that everyone has these devices. There are accommodations you simply cannot make use of if you don't keep up with the times to a certain degree.
Not everyone sees the world the same as you. And for all your insistence I do, you don't seem to be getting much enjoyment out of the life you're pushing.
God damn, child, forget it. Just give me the remote. Look, the red button turns it on and off, then you push the numbers to change the channel. See, that's all it took. How can you not even work that much out yourself?
There are too many buttons.
What are all the other ones doing there if that's all you need to turn it on? Obviously, you need to be able to set recordings, browse the guide, connect it to the internet, and so on.
That's too complicated. Why can't it be more straightforward?
I'm finding out that Morgana has the same technical abilities as an 85-year-old woman who has never seen a smartphone before. Then you'll just have to get an old-fashioned TV that can't record anything and only has a couple channels for your home.
I can't.
Huh? Why can't? I stopped myself before finishing the question, though. I was talking to her like I would an adult, even though she was still a child, who unconvincingly insisted that she was in her 20s. It wasn't safe to assume she didn't have these things by choice, that she didn't own a phone or a computer because she didn't want one. Her parents' shadows hovered behind her. They were complete unknowns in this equation. But if her parents wouldn't let her have these things, that was that. A fact that had slipped my mind until just now. Hey, do your parents?
The TV is quite an obnoxious device, isn't it? So many people talking all at once. It gives me a headache.
Girl, you live in a city. In a very crowded city. What? Did she just change the subject on me? Well, if she didn't want to talk about it, then it would be best not to push the issue. However, I was fairly certain that was where I would find the answer to why she had been sleeping all alone in a park in the rain. The question was whether I would actually involve myself enough to get that out of her. A question I didn't want to consider right now. So this takes place in a time where televisions can connect to the internet. So the South Park movie had to have been a re-release when Michael and Giselle had their date. Fascinating. Did Were TVs really unable to connect to the internet that late? Or really not able to... Oh, how do I say this? I would assume that TVs could do like rudimentary connecting to the internet earlier than, like being able to connect the way that we do now to like Netflix and stuff like that. Well, we can always change it to something else. There are channels that do nothing but play music, like a radio. That would be better, I'm guessing. I switched it over to a music channel. A woman with a high-pitched voice was singing poppy music. I'd never heard of her before. The song was rather grating, I thought, but it seemed like something a girl her age would be fond of.
I don't like her voice very much. I think I would rather listen to classical. Change it to that.
I couldn't have been further off the mark. Well, I don't know about like television sets being advanced, but like things like connecting to the internet in order to like update the TV guide and stuff like that is kind of where I'm thinking, not necessarily all of the functionality you can do today. But your initial functionality before you got all of this. That's what I was kind of thinking. And I think that came fairly early in the 2000s, would be my guess. But I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I mean, he's got a flat screen TV. Who the fuck knows when this is actually taking place? But I'm trying to remember when flat screen TVs were a thing, and I can't. And he's rich too, which means that they may not be current, but he's rich enough, or they may not be normal currently, but they're just coming out and he has the money to flex on it. Jacopo, you're making the timeline hard. We're lost.
I knew next to nothing about her, but it looked like I wasn't going to get anywhere applying my ideas of what a normal teenage girl was like to her. What are you laughing about?
Oh, nothing. So, classical, huh? Not a bad choice. It's my favorite kind of music after jazz.
I see. And here I thought you were going to whine about it.
Hey, do I really seem like such a petty man to you? Anyway, you're the one who does all the whining here. But never mind that. There we go. Jacopo, show us your birth certificate and driver's license so we can narrow stuff down. Passport will work too. What I wanted to say originally is dinner's ready, though it's gotten kind of cold by now. You might want to warm it back up. Do you know what a microwave is?
Of course I do. Don't belittle me.
It was a genuine question. I still didn't have a solid grasp on what she did and didn't understand yet. She sat down at the table and stared intently at her plate of spaghetti. Surely she knew how to eat it, didn't she? I gestured with my chin for her to start eating, and she slowly reached down to pick up her fork, like she was afraid it was going to bite her or something. Watching her felt like I had taken in a stray cat. Did that mean I was now trying to win her trust with food? That was one hell of an image. Once she finally got the first bite down, I started in on my own. It wasn't cold yet, but it was a step above lukewarm, and the noodles were harder than al dente. Far from ideal. And it tasted, well, barely average. If I'd had the proper ingredients, I could have made a meal befitting of the music, but alas. I really should have stopped by the store on my way back.
Stop. What the hell, Jacopo?
Do you want to cook a full 3-course meal for a damn stray? Like you said, a quick store-bought dinner is more than good enough for her. The kid's not going to be grateful no matter what I make her anyway.
It's good.
Huh? Oh, glad to hear it.
You look flabbergasted.
I just didn't expect you to say anything nice about it. But don't think this is the best I can do, you hear me? I can make a real respectable meal, too. I'm very particular about both my ingredients and my spices. Yeah, again, dude has more spices than I do.
I see. I think this is very good as it is, though.
Oh, you do? Well, thanks. Why am I the one thanking her? Christ. It strikes me I haven't cooked for anyone else in a long time. Or eaten with anyone, for that matter.
Oh, that's a shame. Although I haven't shared a table with anyone in some time either.
Comments like that made me want to ask about her home situation, but I swallowed my words along with a mouthful of spaghetti. What she did say was enough to infer that things weren't especially pleasant for her there. Although all I could do was guess about exactly how bad it was. My initial guess is that she lived in some sort of nunnery situation, but maybe not. Maybe she does actually have parents in this situation.
After that, we ate our dinners in silence. It was an oddly comfortable, relaxing kind of quiet.
Made especially curious considering the circumstances. I was sharing it with a teenage runaway while classical music played in the background. Yet somehow I felt a sort of deja vu. I knew for a fact that I'd never met the child before, and I knew for a fact that I'd never been in this situation before, but still I knew it from somewhere far, unimaginably far in the past. The girl's mercilessly sharp tongue, as well as her tendency to turn meek and considerate at the drop of a hat. But above all, the countless times like this we'd shared. I will say there is a PlayStation 4 on the dash. Let's see if I can. I'm pretty sure that's a PlayStation 4. Could be a PlayStation 3. I can't zoom in far enough, but trying to see if there's anything else. It's definitely not a PlayStation 2. And I don't think it. I'm trying to remember when they went to the slanted model. I think that's a PlayStation 4. So maybe that helps to narrow that down. Okay, now that I'm done investigating what year this is, after we finished eating, I went to take a quick shower, and by the time I was out, it had gotten rather late. The girl was sitting on the couch, eyes locked on the TV, which was still playing classical music. It was a shame the channel only broadcast nature photographs to accompany the music. Footage of an orchestra performing the piece would really round out the experience. But a simple slideshow, it was something more than you put on in the background, not sat on the couch and watched. I believe I said you were free to change the channel, put a movie on, read a book, whatever you want.
And here you see me doing what I wanted. If I need to watch a movie or read a book, then command me to do so.
Damn it, I'm not here to order you around. I'm just trying to be nice. Christ. But hey, if that makes you happy, then by all means. It's about time for bed, though. You can use the bedroom down the hall. I'm sleeping on the sofa, so you'll have the room to yourself. What? You have something you want to say?
I was certain you were going to try to sleep with me.
Sleep what? Not a chance in hell! Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I couldn't think of any other reason you would bring me here and offer me so much hospitality.
Oh, for the love of God. I told you at the outset that I was just providing you shelter until things blew over. And I have no interest in goddamn children.
Oh, I see.
She let out a barely audible sigh of relief, not even bothering to object to my calling her a child. So did that mean she'd just been sitting there because she was too scared to bring herself to do anything else? If that was the case, I could only imagine how rough it must have been waiting for me to get out of the shower. Or maybe I could if I were a goddamn pushover. Don't put yourself in deliberately scary situations, idiot. Don't try to sleep in the park or casually follow strange men home or wear nothing but a goddamn shirt if you know it's going to do this to you. Act in your own Okay, let me try that one again. Act in your own interest for once instead of deliberately acting against them at every turn.
You're the one who told me to come back with you in the first place, and there's nothing scary about this.
Who knows what might have happened if you'd actually stayed in that park? It's not safe out there. Hell, it's a miracle you made it as long as you did without anything happening. Given as how bad you smelled, you weren't out there for just a day or two. How long has it been, huh? When'd you run away from home?
Stop shouting. I only stayed outside for about a week.
What? God, you're one lucky girl. A whole week out there alone? Nothing did happen to you, right? No strange men tried to do anything?
One man did attempt to touch me.
What? And are you okay?
I pulled up my sleeve, showed him my arm, and he ran off.
Huh? You showed him your arm? What's that have to do with anything?
Because I look like this.
The girl quietly brought her hand up to the buttons on her shirt, undoing the top, and then the next. Is there no way to just roll up your sleeve, Morgana? Before I could get a word out, she turned around and dropped the shirt around her shoulders. Her back was covered in hideous markings. I felt like I was going to gag at the sight of it. The markings looked like something between burn scars, endlessly crisscrossing lacerations, and something you might see on someone with a rare disease. I'd never seen anything quite like it before.
One look at this is enough to scare most people off, and there are none who would attempt to lay a hand on me, or worse. The man assumed I had some sort of horrible disease, and not wanting to catch it himself, he ran off very quickly. So no, I'm not acting against my own interests. I knew perfectly well that I was in no danger out there. See, you're scared too. What did I tell you?
No. No, I wasn't scared. I just had lost my voice. My chest was so tight I could barely breathe. It felt almost like I had forgotten how to entirely. Or I was sinking deeper and deeper into a mire. What the hell was going on? Why was this happening? Sure, the scars were grotesque and extremely unpleasant to look at. But this feeling, was not rooted in either fear or disgust. That was my immediate thought, was that not everyone would be scared off by that. Like, people fuck dead bodies. Like, that, it's a good thing that one worked this time. It will not work against all of the scum of the earth. It was God. God, what was it? Those are the scars you failed to heal. You left her with them, and then proceeded to inflict even greater wounds upon her soul. You scarred her in a way she will never,
ever recover from. Ah, the next thing I realized, I was on my knees, my breathing rough and my hand clenched before my heart. What the hell was that? There was a voice condemning me, reminding me of my mistakes, accompanied by a crushing torrent of emotions. I apologize for showing you without warning. I didn't think they would sicken you so much. No, that's not it. Your scars don't sicken me in the slightest. But knowing that I gave them to you. Oh, this is going to be a weird conversation. Like all of these haven't been weird, Jacopo. What are you talking about? We first met yesterday. You couldn't have possibly caused these. They were not given to me by anyone, nor are they caused by disease. I've had them forever. My whole life. She's had them forever? Are you are you sure you're okay? If the terrible marks on my skin triggered a bad memory, then I apologize. I'm very sorry. What are you apologizing for? That's not like you. Not like me. What are you talking about? We haven't even known each other a day. You don't know a single thing about me. You're absolutely right. What the hell am I talking about? Something's gotten into me. I'm sorry. As you say, I couldn't have caused your scars. However, what I said still stands. They do not bother me. Stop being so self deprecating about your body. Please, don't do it again. She fell silent for a few moments, as though in thought, then gave a soft nod, to which I responded with an equally soft chuckle. The tightness in my chest remained entirely unrelieved, though. Had I honestly done nothing to cause those scars? A girl with scars like yours has shown up in my dreams before, and every time I do something to her, I just can't remember what. Why bring this up right now, though? If I told her we've met in my dreams, she would think I've gone mad. That would undoubtedly frighten her. You assume you're in no danger because of those scars, but you need to understand that there are people out there who only care if you're a girl. Nothing else matters to them. There's no such thing as too careful. You have a point, I suppose. I admit I was acting a bit rash and without concern for myself. I'll be a little more careful. If you could, that would put my mind at ease. But now, you should really go to bed. If you get thirsty during the night, help yourself to anything in the fridge. And one last thing. You don't have to worry about any unwanted contact. I give you my word, I won't touch you without permission. Thank you. Well, good night. Good night. Say, yes? I thought you wanted me to go to bed. Well, yeah, just, I won't do anything to hurt you, okay? I'm not even gonna touch this one. Mm, you really are a bizarre man. I'm not concerned about you doing anything anymore. I can't quite put it into words, but you seem different from other men. Well, yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Sleep well. The girl gave a little nod, then trotted off into the bedroom and out of sight. What on earth had possessed me to say that? Obviously, I wasn't going to do anything to her, but I still felt deep down that I had to tell her. Although I'd chickened out and not said it in the right way. I won't do anything to hurt you ever again. Jacopo, what is in the corner of the room? Like, what is in all those boxes? We have little slippers. His room is so boring. Although, why does his little chair in the corner look like it's got a straight jacket on? Ah. I was standing in a large room. It was more space than I knew what to do with, even with the huge bed sitting at the far wall. Like the rest of the house, the room smelled of cigarettes. Normally, I couldn't stand the smell, but it didn't bother me as much here for whatever reason. Girl, you live in Paris. How do you get away from that? I'd never stayed at anyone else's house before. And it wasn't like I'd been planning to change that anytime soon, despite the man's accusation that I just casually followed him home. I wanted to send him away when he told me to come with him.
I wasn't stupid. You'd have to be crazy to follow a complete stranger, and an older man at that, home. So why did I come with him? I couldn't explain it myself. Was it just me not caring about my own well being? Was there really nothing else to it? Something told me that wasn't the case, that something else had pushed me to agreeing. It didn't make any sense. He was an angry, mean, bitter man. There was nothing at all likable about him. At most, he did seem like he would always be honest with me. Finally able to relax, I realized I was incredibly tired. I barely even had the energy left to think. It was probably time to sleep. It smells so nice. Jacopo, I'm hoping that you remembered to change the sheets. Please. But you choose what we're doing today, all right? Huh? You want me to sing? I don't mind. What are you laughing about? You didn't think I would agree? Okay, fine, I won't sing. Puppy dog eyes won't change my mind either. That's that. I'm not going to sing. Alone, that is. Yes, you're singing with me. Go find someone who has a lute and ask to borrow it. You don't get a say in the matter. You did ask to borrow that, right? And got permission? None of the shenanigans you pulled at the festival. We need to remain on good terms with everyone if we're going to live here. Well, good. I'm glad you could manage that much. At some point, if we're going to do this again, you should purchase your own so you don't have to borrow one. It would certainly make things simpler, wouldn't it? Next time a merchant is in town, if they're selling a lute, buy it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. As long as it has strings capable of making music, that's adequate. And if it's out of tune, you can tune it. You can at least manage that, can't you? That night, I had a strange dream. Fields of wheat, a lute, our homeland. I'd never seen a field like that before, at least not outside of photos. That said, it felt as though it had been forever since I'd slept soundly enough to dream. I almost wanted to go back to sleep, even though it was already morning. Maybe I would be able to see more of the dream if I did. It was bizarre. Something felt familiar about the field, though I was positive I'd never been there in my life. It was an incredibly warm, happy dream, but somehow also deeply sad. And who was that in the dream with me? I'd gotten dressed, washed my face, brushed my teeth, and made breakfast. It was about time to head out to work. I assumed she would have been up by now, but the girl had yet to emerge from my room. Why the hell am I waiting for her when leaving a note would more than suffice? Well, no, it would be fine for me, but less so for her waking up all alone in a stranger's house. But I can't just go into the room and check on her either. What if she's in there changing? Then you knock, Jacopo! God, why am I wasting time worrying about this at all? This is my apartment and she's in my room. I have every right to go in there. If she has a problem with it, well, it's her fault for sleeping so damn long. All right, time to drag her ass out of bed. Hey, it's me. I'm coming in. But not for any uncouth reasons, you hear me? It's just, breakfast is going to get cold and gross if.
And what are you doing standing in front of my door?
Christ, give me a warning, child. What are you, a ghost? You didn't make a damn peep.
Perhaps you need your eyes checked. As you can see, I have two very real legs.
Th- that you do, yeah. Well, anyway, I thought you would be more of an early riser. Oops. I'm not trying to get on your case or anything. I'm just glad you seem to have slept well. Was the bed comfortable?
It was strange.
Strange. In what sense?
It smelled like a wet dog.
What? Hold on. I know I washed those sheets. Were you trying to imply that I stink?
Consider it payback for last night.
That really got under her skin, huh? I do think I spotted a smile on her face just now, though. Maybe I'm imagining it, but she seems a bit more affable than last night.
May I ask why you're staring at me?
No reason. Breakfast is ready and I have to head to work soon.
But it's Saturday. Are you bad at your job?
No, stupid, the opposite. I have to do 3 times as much work as everyone else because they're all incompetent.
Is that so? At school, you have to do extra work if you do poorly, so I assumed you were the incompetent one.
I see that mouth of yours doesn't need any time to warm up in the morning. Yeah, are you flirting with me? Stop it. No, I have to be going. You can, well, do whatever you want. You're free to leave if you wish or stay here
I assumed you were going to chase me out.
and deal with you lurking around the park again. No, thank you.
So am I supposed to say, have a nice day now or something?
Uh, I mean, you could if you wanted to. I'm not going to make you do anything, though.
Well, in that case, I will send you off with a little something. Never come back.
You little. What the hell's your problem?
I get the whole apartment to myself if you don't come back.
Where do you find room for all that cheek in such a tiny body? I swear you've somehow gotten even worse than last night. Christ almighty. Okay, I'm going to work.
Farewell. It was a bright sunny morning, not a trace of the bleak rain from the night before. I hadn't paid much mind to the outside in recent months, but it was almost shockingly nice out today. A slightly dewy morning breeze tickled my cheeks. The leaves on the trees along the road were so intensely green they seemed otherworldly. Going straight to the office would make this into just another day, so I took a seat on a set of stairs on the way to the bus stop and had a smoke. Watching the silver strands dance up into the blue sky, my mind once again drifted to the girl. I'd said she could stay if she wanted, but how long could I really keep her in my care? If I wanted to do what was best for her, well, there were organizations much better equipped to deal with her situation than a single man. At what point do we worry about whoever is possibly looking for her accusing us of kidnapping? I shouldn't be letting her get comfortable.
When I took her in, I assumed her reason for running away was something trivial, like a spat with her parents. But considering how utterly clueless she seemed to be about even the simplest things last night, I was starting to suspect her situation was more complicated than I'd first imagined. Was hers a broken home? Or was there something even worse going on? And unless I wanted to risk making things worse, I couldn't offer her any advice without more information. So the smart thing to do was to sit back and see how things played out. It probably wouldn't be fun for me either. If her parents found out about this, I could very well end up in jail. Which meant it really wasn't all that smart after all, huh? I had to wonder, would I be doing the same for anyone, not just her? Probably not, no. I couldn't say why, but I suspected the only reason I was bothering at all was because of who she was. I wanted to do what I could to help her. It made no sense either. I couldn't make a damn cent off of helping her. She was just an obnoxious child, not even fit for work. You know, I never did get her name, did I? Slipping out of thought, I realized I was at the end of my third cigarette. So much for a smoke. The sky was still immensely clear, the air sweet and fresh, and the morning beautiful. This all suddenly feels like a giant waste of time. Is work really so important that I have to drag myself out on a day this nice? Screw it, I'm taking the day off. I turned around, made my way back home, and found the girl in the living room. Evidently startled by the sound of the door opening, she'd hidden herself behind a column and was peeking out at me. She looked so much like a cat on high alert that I couldn't hold back a chuckle. Seeing it was me at the door, the girl stepped out of the shadows and gave me a fierce glare.
Is your job something you can complete in less than an hour?
I'm so damn good I can finish a full day's work in only 30 minutes. Jokes aside, I decided not to go in today.
And you can just decide not to go in on a whim like that?
I'm merely going back to a normal work week after sacrificing weekends for the pay and advancement opportunities. Of course, now it's just assumed I'll always be there, which means it's going to be hell when I do go back in.
And what are you planning to do with this extra time you now have?
Well, I don't know. Do you want to go for a walk?
Together?
So you don't get the wrong idea. I did not take the day off because I was worried about you. I merely felt it would be a waste to go in to work on such a nice day. I'm only inviting you because you happen to be here on the day I happen to take off. I'll be going shopping while I'm out as well. But it's not good for you to stay holed up inside all day. It's important to get a little sun sometimes. Especially you because you look like a damn ghost. Do you get out at all?
I got enough sun for a lifetime while I was staying in the park, and I'm naturally pale. That's all there is to it. If you want to go for a walk, by all means, go for a walk.
Girl, if you stayed out in the park for a week, how are you not the color of a lobster? Can't say I didn't expect that. All right, then, I'll be back in a bit.
I never said I wouldn't come with you.
Huh? You say something?
I said you were free to go, but I never said it had to be alone. You said you were going shopping, right? I'll help carry the bags. Why are you giving me that look?
Oh, no reason. Just admiring how hard you're trying to avoid saying you want to go. You'll help carry the bags, will you? How fascinating.
Oh, please, you're one to talk about trying too hard. So you don't get the wrong idea. I'm merely helping as thanks for yesterday. I have absolutely no interest in going on a walk with you.
Yeah, you're not interested, I hear ya. Let's get going then, shall we?
Ugh, I should have just let you go alone.
All right. My throat is starting to give out. So to avoid the next step, which has generally been some hacking and coughing, um, we're gonna end here for tonight. Next stream is Tuesday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. So come hang out with us then. If you are watching this on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe. If you aren't subscribed to our YouTube and you're watching us on Twitch, please feel free to look at the link below and come like and subscribe the video when it comes up, or also check out any of the old stuff that we used to do, or we once did. I don't know, English is hard, man. And yeah, thanks for hanging out all. Hopefully I've got a little bit more stamina next time, but we'll be back on Tuesday. Have a good night.